Hey everyone, I'm Azik and welcome to my channel. Today we're diving into the wacky world of bizarre laws from around the globe. Did you know that in some countries it's illegal to chew gum or even forget your birthday? We're talking about those head-scratching, wait, really? Kind of laws that make you question everything you thought you knew about the world. But here's the thing, these strange laws aren't just good for a laugh. They're also a fantastic way to boost your vocabulary and impress your IELTS examiners. So, buckle up because we're about to embark on a wild ride through the world's most unusual legislation. Let's go. Alright, let's kick things off in the ever-so-orderly nation of Singapore. Now, Singapore is known for its pristine streets, its efficient public transportation, and you guessed it, its strict ban on chewing gum. Yes, you heard that right. Chewing gum is officially prohibited in Singapore, and it's been that way since 1992. You see, discarded chewing gum was becoming a real nuisance in the city-state. It was sticking to sidewalks, ending up on public transportation, and generally creating an unsightly mess. The government decided to take a stand against this sticky situation and introduced the ban. And you know what? It worked. Singapore's streets are now remarkably clean, and the chewing gum problem is a distant memory. But what happens if you're caught with a wad of gum in your mouth? Well, let's just say it's not pretty. First-time offenders face hefty fines, and repeat offenders might even find themselves doing community service. So, if you're planning a trip to Singapore, remember to leave your chewing gum at home. Imagine you're asked about a time you saw someone break a rule. You could say something like, "Well, I once saw someone get fined in Singapore for chewing gum. It's completely banned there because it was becoming a real nuisance in public spaces." See, you've just used words like ban, fined, nuisance, and public spaces, all of which are relevant to the topic and demonstrate your range of vocabulary. So, the next time you're tempted to pop a piece of gum, remember the tale of Singapore and the power of a well-placed vocabulary word. The ban has not only kept the streets clean but also made public spaces more enjoyable for everyone. Tourists and locals alike appreciate the cleanliness and order that the gum ban has helped maintain. So, while it may seem strict, the gum ban is just one of the many ways Singapore ensures a high quality of life for its residents and visitors. Okay, let's journey now to the land of majestic mountains, delicious chocolate, and surprisingly quiet bathrooms, Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is known for its peaceful atmosphere, but did you know that this tranquility extends even to the way they flush their toilets? That's right, my friends. In the land of the Alps, it's illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. in most apartment buildings. Yes, you heard that correctly. After the clock strikes 10, you better have a really compelling reason to disturb the peace with a late-night flush. The Swiss take their sleep very seriously, and rightfully so. Noise pollution, even from something as seemingly innocuous as a flushing toilet, is considered a major no-no in Swiss apartment buildings. So, to ensure that everyone gets their 40 winks, they've implemented this rather unique noise restriction. Imagine you're asked about a law you find unusual. You could say, "I find it fascinating that in Switzerland, there's a curfew on flushing toilets after 10 p.m. in residential buildings. Apparently it's to minimize noise pollution and ensure everyone gets a good night's sleep." See? You've just used words like curfew, residential, noise pollution, and ensure, all of which are relevant to the topic and demonstrate your understanding of complex vocabulary. So the next time you find yourself reaching for the flush handle after 10 p.m., remember the Swiss and their commitment to a peaceful night's sleep. Chapter 3. Till Death Do Us Part gets literal in France. Bonjour, mes amis, and welcome to the land of romance, baguettes, and surprisingly flexible marriage laws, France. This country is not just about the Eiffel Tower and delicious pastries, it has some unique legal traditions that might surprise you. Now, France is known for its passionate love affairs, its stunning architecture, and believe it or not, its legal recognition of posthumous marriage. Yes, you heard that right. Marrying someone who has already passed away. That's right, in France, under very specific circumstances, you can actually marry someone who is no longer among the living. This isn't just a quirky law, it has deep historical roots and significant emotional implications. Posthumous marriage in France isn't just about fulfilling some Romeo and Juliet fantasy, it's a legal practice that has been shaped by history and the need for compassion in times of loss. It's rooted in history and compassion. The origins of this law can be traced back to the devastating times of World War I. The law dates back to World War I when countless women lost their fiancés on the battlefield. These women were left heartbroken and without the legal status that marriage would have provided. To honor these couples and provide legal protection for the women and their children, the French government allowed for posthumous marriages. This was a way to recognize the commitment and love that existed, even if the marriage couldn't happen in life. Today the law still stands, but it's not a free-for-all. There are strict criteria that must be met for a posthumous marriage to be approved. The surviving partner needs to prove that the deceased person had a clear intention to marry them before their passing. This isn't an easy task and requires substantial evidence. This usually involves providing evidence like love letters, joint bank accounts, or testimonies from family and friends. The process is thorough to ensure that the marriage would have genuinely taken place. Imagine you're asked about a law you find interesting. You could share this unique aspect of French law. You could say, I recently learned that in France, posthumous marriage is legal under specific circumstances. It's a fascinating blend of history, law, and human emotion. It's a fascinating example of how civil law can adapt to unique situations and provide comfort to those who have lost loved ones. This law shows the flexibility and humanity within the legal system. See, you've just used words like posthumous, legal, civil law, and circumstances, all of which are relevant to the topic and demonstrate your ability to discuss complex legal concepts. This knowledge not only enriches your understanding but also highlights the intricate ways in which laws can serve society. Chapter 4, Australia, where changing a light bulb requires a license. G'day mates, and welcome to the land of sunshine, surfing, and surprisingly strict electrical regulations, Australia. Now, Australia is known for its laid-back attitude, its stunning natural beauty, and believe it or not, its law prohibiting unlicensed individuals from changing light bulbs. You heard that right, in the state of Victoria. If you're caught swapping out a blown light bulb without a licensed electrician by your side, you could be facing a hefty fine. Australia takes electrical safety very seriously, and for good reason. Electricity is a powerful force that, if not handled properly, can have dangerous consequences. To ensure that all electrical work is carried out safely and to the highest standards, they've implemented strict licensing requirements for electricians. Imagine you're asked about a time you had to follow a rule you found inconvenient. You could say, well, I once had to call a licensed electrician in Victoria, Australia, just to change a light bulb. It seemed a bit excessive, but I understand they have strict regulations regarding electrical safety. See? You've just used words like licensed, regulations, electrical safety, and excessive, all of which are relevant to the topic and demonstrate your ability to discuss rules and regulations. Plus, you've just shared a humorous anecdote that showcases your awareness of different cultural norms. And let's be honest, a little bit of humor can go a long way in an exam setting. Chapter 5. Feeding frenzy? Not for pigeons in Italy. Ciao, Bella, and welcome to the land of pasta, pizza, and surprisingly strict pigeon feeding laws. Italy. This country, known for its rich culinary heritage and warm hospitality, also has some unique regulations that might surprise you. Now, Italy is known for its romantic canals, its stunning art and architecture, and believe it or not, its ban on feeding pigeons in certain cities, particularly Venice. This city, with its labyrinth of waterways and historic charm, has taken a firm stance against these feathered residents. That's right, in the floating city, tossing a handful of breadcrumbs to those seemingly harmless pigeons could land you with a hefty fine. The authorities are quite serious about this rule, and for good reason. Venice, with its historic buildings and delicate marble statues, has been waging a war against pigeons for decades. The city's unique and fragile architecture is at constant risk from these birds. Those seemingly innocent birds with their charming cooing and fluttering wings are actually a menace to the city's architectural heritage. Their presence, while picturesque, poses a significant threat. Pigeon droppings, acidic and corrosive, were damaging the facades of buildings, eroding ancient stonework, and generally creating an unsightly mess. The damage is not just cosmetic, it can lead to long-term structural issues. The city decided to take action to protect its cultural treasures and implemented a ban on feeding pigeons. This measure is part of a broader effort to preserve Venice's historical and cultural integrity. The idea is simple: reduce the food source, reduce the pigeon population, reduce the damage. By cutting off their food supply, the city hopes to naturally decrease the number of pigeons. Imagine you're asked about a time you had to be mindful of your surroundings. Venice is a perfect example of a place where awareness and respect for local rules are crucial. You could say, when I was in Venice, I was surprised to learn that feeding the pigeons is banned. This unexpected rule made me more conscious of my actions and their potential impact. It made me realize how important it is to respect local customs and be mindful of how our actions, even seemingly small ones, can impact the environment. This awareness is a key aspect of responsible tourism. See, you've just used words like banned, mindful, customs, impact, and environment, all of which are relevant to the topic and demonstrate your ability to discuss responsible tourism and cultural sensitivity. These are important concepts that can enrich your travel experiences and conversations. And that, my friends, is a surefire way to impress your IELTS examiner. By showing your understanding of cultural nuances and environmental responsibility, you can make a lasting impression. That's all, folks. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour of some of the world's most bizarre laws. We've journeyed from the gum-free streets of Singapore to the pigeon-protected canals of Venice, all while expanding our vocabulary and gaining a deeper understanding of different cultures. Remember those key terms we encountered? Words like ban, penalty, and heritage. These words can be seamlessly integrated into your IELTS speaking and writing responses. Until next time, keep those brains buzzing and those vocabulary words flowing.